Good afternoon. Welcome back. It was great to get back out on the field, continue what we've been working on. Just some of the carryover from the spring, talking to the guys. Biggest difference is just, I think, the collective care of the units, talking, the communication. A lot of talking out there. Defense was hard to go against today. Just a lot of just communication, lining up properly, attacking the ball. So a really good day there. Offensively, we got going a little bit too. But, defense made it hard throwing the ball down the field a little bit sometimes, which is good, which is what we expect. Also, just the focus of this group, it's a very serious, very focused group. They're intent on just continuing to come together. We've talked about that collectively, just how quickly can we come together and play football as one. And that's really the goal right now of training camp. And, I think the last part of it is the competition that I'm looking for in practice, the competition within each position group, which we'll be able to get into here a little bit, to see guys battling all the way through the depth, for places on this team is really exciting to me. And it elevates the practice. It elevates the energy. It elevates the intentionality, and guys just really, trying to find their best and making each other better as a result of that, which is going to be our goal. So I'm excited about just getting it started off.
Aside, did you have to remind Princely and everybody that you got to take care of teammates after that last play where he got his hand on Bryce?
Absolutely. A really close one. A great rush. Exactly why he's here. Is to be able to affect the passer, and just came really tight around that corner and kind of nicked Bryce, on the arm right there. The ball comes out, and that's really not what we want to see. I want to see that first part of it, though, and just the great bend and flexibility and power that he has in his rushes. So even some of the veteran guys, we come up at the end, and they're like, hey, don't back off of that. Just be smart at the top, okay? This is all of us. We got to take care of each other at that moment. Those decisions down the field, the decisions in the pocket. So, yeah, that's something that we had to talk about.
Dave, how would you handle that, though, when guys are trying to make a play and trying to do something but not trying to do too much?
With a lot of grace, with a lot of understanding. This is a violent sport, a violent game. These guys are getting in their stances. They've been working on all their pass rush techniques all summer. They go through a great individual, and they're smacking the crap out of the bag, which we have the ball kind of positioned in a place to attack the elbow of the quarterback. And so, it's that hardwired training, and you have to just be able to have the presence of mind right there in those moments. So,
describe your feeling walking out here for your second training camp versus last year when you didn't know a whole lot?
Oh, it feels great. I just honestly, it really starts with the players. I think it's more just they understand the expectation of what a great practice looks like for us from start to finish, the transition in between. Everybody's moving around. That when you're not in, you're talking football, and all those things are happening, and so it feels a lot different knowing that I have a group of leaders that have my back, and that understand the expectation that myself and the coaching staff is looking for.
Dave, you bring up the leaders. Josie Jewell got released. How is that situation handled from your perspective?
Yeah.
How long did you kind of know that this could be a possibility? And then also, what was the conversation like yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we had to adhere to the normal concussion protocol, which we did. We did all that. And first, to talk about Josie, you talk about a leader. Guy didn't say a lot. When he talked, people listened. The toughness, the character, the aggressive style of play, always making plays on the ball, throughout his career, the reason why we brought him here. And I think for me as a first-year head coach last year, to have somebody that I could point to who really exemplifies the type of effort, the type of physicality, the character. He's a no-nonsense guy. He wants guys to just look at the truth of what it was, get to the bottom of it and fix it. And he was always at the heart of those conversations. So it's a big loss, definitely for us from that standpoint, and then as far as the rest of it, we just kind of had to take it at Josie's pace and with all the specialists that were working with him, Dan and Brant, worked with the agent and talked to them, and we felt like this was the best outcome right now with the first, and most important thing for Josie is getting healthy, and getting him to a place where he can make that sound decision on playing football, which he wants to do, or whatever is after that. So I'm proud of the fact that we just had upfront conversations throughout the whole time, and that's what I appreciated about the interaction.
To follow up on that, when we talked to you in March, you were kind of glowing about the signing of Roseboom.
Yeah.
You obviously drafted Trevin.
Yep.
What's the outlook for those two guys as you head into this second summer?
It's great opportunities for that whole group. You start with those guys. Christian obviously had like 136 tackles or something last year, played on a playoff defense. really played probably the best year of his career, last year. And for us to be able to have him here is huge. But you talk about a guy like Claude Canales, Jacoby Windman, Bam Martin Scott, Seavey, Nomura coming in from Fresno State, and then, John Radigan. It's a really talented young group. They're very athletic. They got aggressiveness to the style of play. They fit what we're looking for. So it's a great opportunity for those guys.
What do you know about Bryce today that you didn't know this time of year ago?
I don't know. I don't know that I see anything new necessarily. My expectation for Bryce is to lead this team, which he never stopped doing all throughout last year, even with the challenges that it presented. But he just came right back in, and from the moment we went out there for center quarterback exchange, it's like his familiarity with the system, his command of everything is just like we just picked up where we left off in the spring, to be able to push our concepts and our systems forward, which is really the goal. Is can we master this so we can add little nuances? And so I feel like coming in with the type of rhythm and the type of command gives us a chance to continue to grow those things.
What head start does that give you, having being in the second year now of this system?
Yeah, it just really, having guys being in the system now for a while just gives us a chance to continue to push on the most important parts of it, the effort part of what we're trying to get. A lot of times when you have a bunch of people thinking, the whole thing kind of slows down a little. It's very mechanical, very methodical. And what I'm feeling out here are guys who understand what we're doing, and I can always tell by the speed of play. The faster we're playing, the more I know they understand what we're doing and where they need to be on any given, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams. So I really feel that jump with this whole group.
What's the next step for Bryce, and how does he take it?
Honestly, we look at like short-term goals. We look at just the command like we talked about, owning the whole system, and I think really just allowing us to have the nuances, the complements of all the different things. As we master a concept, there are things and answers that come off of it. So it's how quickly can we get to that point as a group, and then we can continue to just push the envelope and find new things.
Dave, Damani had that pick earlier
Yeah.
in practice. How much has he kind of grown from last year, coming in as an undrafted guy, to being a guy who's competing for a starting job?
He's got a knack for the ball. It started last year, so he shows up again on the first day with an interception on a ball that was slightly overthrown there, and he went, from the middle of the field and made a great play on that. But I think, again, it's kind of goes to the same thing. It's watching him communicate. I think if you're asking for one specific thing, it's watching him talk. He's got to be connected with the corner, the nickel, the calls that are coming with motions and all those things. And I think that's probably the biggest growth that I see from Damani is his level of comfort in our system to be able to talk loudly. I think sometimes the guys kind of, sheepishly will whisper something out there, but when you can hear them loud and they own it and they're demonstrative, that they really have grown, to the understanding of the concepts.
Can you give us updates on the timeline with Tommy and Bobby and Sam?
Yeah, Tommy. So Tommy's gonna have to progress week to week for us. He's doing great. I want to say he's ahead of schedule, but I just know we're gonna just take this thing as it comes. But right now he's making great strides. He looks strong in his rehab and all that. So I'm not sure exactly timeline wise. I wouldn't say Tommy's gonna be back soon, like within the next couple weeks. But I think 3 or 4 weeks or something like that as we evaluate it could potentially be there. And then Bobby got imaging and all the things. It's a hamstring. He did some stuff. I saw him out today before practice. He was down there running, changing direction already. So he's already starting on a pretty good curve. So I hope to get him back pretty soon. Sam Martin's kind of in the same world that way, so it was something we have to be precautionary about. We don't want to throw him back out there. They didn't clear for us right away. So, but I think he's probably on a similar timeline.
Finally won him.
Yeah.
Did a lot today.
Yeah, we're just honestly being smart with DJ. He's had a couple of different things. Obviously, he came in with the quad injury, and so we're just having to make sure that we're able to progress him into camp the right way. So we're going to be smart about DJ. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing.
What about Dan?
We'll do a couple more.
Yeah, Dan's progressing back from a calf. So again, I don't know exactly the specific timeline for Dan, but he is doing some on-ground stuff. I wouldn't say he's at the same markers as Bobby and Sam, but I think he's probably right behind them there. So we hope to get Dan back in there.
Successful season look like this season?
Yeah, just weekly growth, and right now our focus is having a great camp. For me, it's owning the system and working ourselves into condition to where we can be ready to play week 1. That's the focus, and I think with this group, with just talking to the guys in the team meeting, with the group that we've brought together, how quickly can we play together? How quickly can we communicate and show that style of football that we want to put out there, and I think that the sky's the limit for this group. I think that this is going to be a very competitive team. I don't think people are going to want to play us by the style of football that we play. I'm expecting that. My expectations are really high for this group. They are every year, and we're going to shoot for as good as we can get. My language to the group is I want to make sure we maximize the talent in this room. That'll take us as far as we need to go, but that's going to be our focus.
And communications in the secondary. How quickly has Trayvon kind of become a voice back there for all those guys?
Yeah, he's a veteran player. He cares. If he's not on the field, he's standing right next to Ronaldo Hill, our safeties coach, and they're talking about concepts that just happened. They're talking about run fits. They're talking about adjustments, and he's just so into it, And I can't talk about him without talking about Turk Wharton. The guy's just, when he's out there, he's the Energizer Bunny, and when he's on the side, he's always talking technique, hand placement, footwork with the veteran guy, with the young guy, and it's just the guys that we love who are they have a passion for football, a passion for their craft, and I'm really excited that they're here.
Energy. Do you feel less pressure to bring the energy this year or produce energy out on the field than you did a year ago?
I wouldn't say that. I think my mentality is to just try to make sure that in the meeting, when we get our day started, that we have the right mindset, that our focus is in the right place. Today is the most important day we have. It's the only one we have. Can we maximize these days, and especially with the acclimation period, as we ramp up these practices, when we start now, the opportunities are fewer and far between. So we have to maximize the work. We have to maximize the individual drills, the 7-on-7 periods, the team periods, which are a lot shorter right now. When you're in there, maximum effort. Let's get ourselves into game shape. The only way to play fast is to play fast out here on the field. Practice is everything. And so my job is to just keep those guys locked into that mentality. I know it gets more challenging as we get deeper into camp, So right now everyone's excited, everyone's fired up, and they feel great, and the goal for them is to have that recovery so they can keep playing at full speed, so we can keep throwing practices like we did today. All right. Thank you.